Hi everyone, and welcome to a new video in which I'm going to give you my view on why do we see these zigzags. How come BitMEX swap is so liquid, so incredibly liquid, and how the price is being more or less established. So first of all, let's look at this zigzag. That was after a dump, which was a few $100s. But this specific pattern doesn't look like normal human behavior. It certainly isn't. It was after the price went from like 10K to 9.2, and it has stopped oscillating around this value. So what has happened? Some people were forced to sell, and after the price has been established, it just started hovering here. Probably there wasn't too much buy pressure, there wasn't too much sell pressure, and then we have this artificial zigzag pattern, of which each kind of leg takes around 10-20 seconds. So within 1 minute, you have 3 zigzags here, so 3 moves up and down. So that makes it around 10-second move up and 10-second move down. So what does this imply? It implies that a lot of trades were executed, that the order books are empty, and now some bots are just bringing the price up, bringing the price down, and there aren't too many people trying to trade this and to interfere with this bot doing this pattern. So I assume that if nobody was trading crypto, there were no buyers, no sellers, the bot would just oscillate the price like this. Here I assume someone came and started selling, maybe here buying, so it flattened the curve, someone sold a little bit, and then we go back to this oscillation. And I believe this is very natural, and I believe that this is thanks to, well, this is an artifact of BitMEX presence in the market. So this is one phenomenon, and it is clearly happening. It is a very prominent pattern after big liquidity events like big deleverages, and I have seen that many times before. So it's not a one-off thing. And when you look at the normal oscillations, they are kind of like this. So they go up and down. So this is 5 minutes. So let's go back to see a single minute. And these oscillations do go up and down a little bit, not too much, but partially because now there is a decent amount of liquidity, and there are people trading. There are people who have their orders in the order book. So that's the first thing, the zigzag. And then the other part of the puzzle is the BitMEX liquidity. The BitMEX liquidity is absolutely amazing. If you go to the Swapman's website, you can see that the volume at BitMEX is absolutely massive, and this volume is not there accidentally, or it's not there because their interface is so great. It's great, but the volume is there to encourage people gambling on this exchange. They're making a lot of money from the fees, and they want large volumes of money to be traded there. If there is large amount of traded volume and large liquidity, then big players will come and they will gamble there. Now, how did they achieve that? They didn't invite some market makers and convince them to put massive 2 million orders at the front of the order book for 10 seconds and then the sell order for 10 seconds. It's quite hard to convince a random guy from the street or even a professional market maker to come to a crypto market which is being manipulated a lot, has no KYC, you don't know who you're going against. You know, if you see a random Joe on the street and tell him, can you for the next 10 seconds put a $2 million buy order and then put a $2 million sell order on the order book and do that 24/7 for a few years, nobody sane would agree to that. But this sort of pattern is really helpful for BitMEX, because you can be absolutely sure that if you put your order here, someone will will give you a fill. So how does it all works? This is in BitMEX's very interest to have this sort of oscillation, to have this large amount of volume. But it's not here. Okay, so we had the buy pressure, now there appears some sell pressure, and the buy side just dries up, and now we have the sell pressure. So how are they achieving this? So they must incentivize a party, someone, to just keep oscillating these buys and sells, and this encourages people. So if someone sees an order book like this, he's more keen to press buy, market buy, and he pays fees, and now it shifts to the sell side. So when someone sees an order book like this becoming more heavy on the sell side, he's more keen to execute a sell. So it's very good for the exchange that these oscillations happen. And if you want to buy 1 million of worth of Bitcoin, you can just execute against this order very easily. The liquidity is there. So it's a win for the exchange. It's a win for the traders. But how is it achieved? How is it possible that someone just comes and puts stuff on the buy side, puts stuff on the sell side? My theory is that it's BitMEX's internal market making office, market making desk. It has been disclosed that it exists, and it is supposed to be not to make profit. It's being subsidized by BitMEX exchange, obviously, and it's not making too much profit. You could imagine that this is not a very profitable scenario, especially if some YOLO guy comes and sells 20 million of Bitcoin, and if you were long and he sold, then you are screwed. And look, now it's an oscillation down. So someone puts 2 million here, people remove all the buy orders from here, and people are very keen to execute market sell orders. And you can see that the second biggest exchange, the second biggest contract, this is the quarterly, I believe. No, it doesn't look liquid enough for a quarterly. Let's see. Yeah, this will be the quarterly. Yeah, this is way more liquid. One contract is $100. So it was on the sell side. Now there appear some more and more buy orders. No sell side, and you can see that OKEX mirrors whatever is happening on BitMEX. Initially, OKEX was much bigger than BitMEX in 2016. Now BitMEX is much bigger. So I believe that BitMEX has established this internal trading desk, which probably isn't making money or is making a little bit of a loss, and then BitMEX subsidizes them for just being present and encouraging people to trade on the exchange. And how they work is for around 10 to 20 seconds, or however long is necessary, they just put a big order in the order book. By looking at this order book for absolute ages, I can give you my best guesstimate. So my assumption is that they put, let's say, 1.2 million sell. So I think that this here is human, and this here is the market making office, market making desk. It's a bit distorted. It would be easier to explain this after liquidity has dried up after a dump. At the moment, there are some real buyers and real sellers, and it's more difficult to establish some subtle details about how the market is being, how the market maker is making the market. But here you can see someone is putting some buy orders, and this is certainly the market maker. How do you know it's the market maker? It's incredibly quickly jumping in front of the queue. It's very profitable to be here, the first to be filled. So my theory is that this is the internal BitMEX market maker, and he now puts a 1 million buy, and he has a target, my guess, 300,000, and he will keep this order, this 1 million order, until he gets filled for 300,000. So he got maybe filled at 3,000, here maybe 10,000, and he'll keep this order here until he becomes 300,000 long. At that point, at this arbitrary 300,000 long, he becomes short. So some more fills for the market maker, some more, a bit more, and maybe this is enough. No, not yet. So that market maker is still long. Let's assume that this market maker is aiming for 1.2 million buy order at all times. So some more fills, and let's just wait until this side of the order books moves here. And I believe that when this market maker finishes with being on the buy side, he just flips on the sell side, and either him or someone else is just populating the order book behind him to capture these wicks, because some people just come and market buy at the wrong price, and if they are gamblers, you have made money. So that order is still at the front. He's not getting too many fills, and oh, maybe he just got his, presumably 300,000 fill. Oh, 50k. I assume that we'll soon see the market maker flip from buy to sell. Oh, there are more fills. So 50k, 2k, and we are getting fills. 2k, and we can see that something is building on the sell side. It's hard to tell. Maybe that was the market maker who went on the sell side, and then someone just bombed his order at 400,000, and the market maker is again flipping long. So, because there is a lot of activity and there is some volatility, it's a bit more difficult to track what's happening. But maybe the market maker is getting his fills here. So maybe, so he's clearly on the buy side, because we know him. We see him from there being 1.2 million on the buy side or on the sell side. So that guy is on the buy side still. And let's see whether he gets around 300k fills on his order. So waiting, in a moment, hopefully he'll get enough fills, and he'll just flip to the sell side, and boom, now he's on the sell side. So this will slowly disappear. So I believe this is the market maker, this is just a human. So I think it's some human just putting a 2 mil order. It could be a spoof, it could be a real order. Let's see how this develops. This could be, for example, an OTC desk who has just sold some corn and is now flattening their delta. Yeah, someone is just bombing this order. So this is not the market maker, this is the market maker. And he's sitting here. Maybe he will get enough buys. So I assume, I guess, he's sitting here waiting for 300k to hit him, and then he'll just join this side, and together with this 2 million he will be on the buy side, and he will be pushing the price up. And you can see that he has been pushing the price up here. We can see that from the chart that it has been going up. So market maker is still on the sell side. There are some orders bombing this 2 mil order, and there are some people buying. So let's see what will be first, whether this 2 mil will be bombed. Okay, so the market maker has flipped and he has joined this 2 million, and now it's 2 million plus 1.2 million, and they are both on the buy side. And you can see how scary this looks for people who are short. So whoever sees 3 million at the front of the order books is really keen to go long. And maybe that was enough fills for the market maker, and he's now back on the sell side. So that's my theory. He just goes on the sell side, waits until he has 300,000 fills, and he flips to the other side, and he just sells the 300k which he has bought. Now, if you're oscillating like this, you just keep buying 300k here on the way up, and then keep selling 200k on the way down. You could be making enough money from the maker rebates to stay profitable. However, if you went 300k short and then everything just run down, maybe from here to here, then this is not a very profitable scenario. But I think that overall, over the long run, if you consider the gains from these nice zigzags, which are the most profitable, if you consider some losses from a move like this, and if you consider the subsidized nature of this activity, so BitMEX is paying them for being there, I believe, So I think it's overall profitable, or it just breaks even. Even if there is this bigger move, I believe that, you know, if you're 300k long here, and if it goes down, you will get a sell field at some point, because there are some automated orders just going up and down, and this market maker must be really quick. It must be directly connected to the exchange, and it will be ridiculously quick. If you're experiencing overload, that bot is certainly experiencing minimal overload at some most extreme moves. So this is how I think the internal BitMEX market making desk operates, and this is the heartbeat of crypto. So it's just putting an order here to generate some fills at BitMEX, and the whole crypto market is just following this. They have learned that every move originates, well, in 2016-17, every move originated from BitMEX or OKEX. It's still more or less the case in 2020, but I believe this is the reason for the zigzag. I believe this is the business model for the internal market making desk, and this is why we see 1.2 million buy, 1.2 million sell alternating. They are there to show a big order at the tip of the order book. They are here to convince noobs or normal punters to execute a market buy or market sell, and they are there for the big YOLO gamblers, so that you can just market buy, market sell a big over 1 mil order if you want to. And this market making desk will try to neutralize the delta as soon as possible. So if someone hit them with 1 mil sell, they will immediately try to reduce the exposure, and they will sell that 1 mil ASAP, whether it's with profit or with loss. That should be their business model. So here you have it. This is why I think there are these zigzags, why they make sense, why they are more pronounced when there isn't much liquidity in the order books, how it makes sense for the BitMEX to make money of them, and how it makes sense, well, how you can explain that this market making desk is, let's say, neutral in terms of profitability, as Arthur Hayes claims. So please like, please comment, please subscribe, please have a look at the links below. There are some good discounts and there is some free money. Thank you very much for watching.